Welcome back. Now we go to the question of leadership. And, you know, in Nigeria and indeed anywhere in the world, this is an important one. In Nigeria, it's multidimensional. One organization, the Guardians of the Nation International, has been creating a platform to groom leaders for positive impact through the Emerging Leaders Conference. The 2016 edition of the conference is around the corner, and the organizers say there is a unique angle to this year's gathering. So we have the founder and president of the Guardians of Nations International, who is also the managing consultant, New Vision Consults, in the studio to tell us more about this initiative. Good morning, Mr. Linus Okorie.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
Oh, great to be here.
So we're talking leadership again.
Absolutely.
Now, you say something is unique about this year's conference.
Excellent, yes.
Let's start from there.
First thing first that we need to know right now is that in the atmosphere now in Nigeria, there's a lot of fear, there's uncertainty. A lot of people are wondering, how can we make a difference? Organizations are shutting down. And so in this kind of system right now, you must create another value that you bring to the marketplace. And that's why the theme for this year's Emerging Leaders Conference is self-reinvention, the trigger for economic boom. What do we do as a nation in times like this? Because it is about leadership. Leadership is about everything. And it means that for anybody to matter, for anybody to be relevant, for anybody to become outstanding, the person must go the extra mile in reinventing himself or herself. So that once you begin to, create an innovative way of doing things, thinking differently, thinking outside the box, refusing to believe that we are in recession indeed, that is a huge strength that can activate the leadership potential of those we work with, those we work for, and at the end of the day, we can groom the next generation of people who are, pushing through these difficult challenges and coming out smart and building institutions. And you know why? Because in times like this, in other parts of the world, when they had these kind of challenges, that was one of the greatest times they experienced their greatest growth as well. That was when people created, invented new things because of the exposure the young people go through that process.
Mr. Okorie, I don't know if you saw the news item about 10 days to a week ago about a Nigerian who had invented something and had been waiting for support to improve on it and put it on the market. I think he's been waiting for the past 3 years or so, and nobody has come forward to help him. So those kinds of people listening to you now, they'll be saying, what's he talking about? We are inventing, but government is not supporting us. No individual with money is coming out to support us.
If you could remember, at the age of 19, when I started talking about leadership development in Nigeria, people didn't take me seriously. A lot of people that I shared the vision with of grooming leadership capital for Nigeria, nobody took me serious. But it took the power of vision, the power of consistency, the keep at it factor, stay in the course. Until first an idea comes, they turn you down, they reject it. But you stay the course. And then at some point, some people say, what is he talking about? Let's see what he's reinvented. Let's see what he has created. And then after a while, people, oh wow, this is really amazing. And then the individual is not giving up. He keeps at it. And then after a while, guess what? An opportunity opens up and the world listens to that individual because that individual is prepared. The truth of the matter is that, where you have a system where government lack the kind of leaders we seek to produce, in that system, it is the individual that now would have to deepen the value the individual is bringing to the marketplace, and such that the market systems would have to answer to that value. It is when you have a value that you're bringing to the marketplace, because I'm sure you know Omo. Omo used to exist some years ago. It was a big brand, right? And then after a while, we no longer see Omo anywhere. But some other brand that has been staying in one corner has emerged. Omo has disappeared. And so that is what happens in a system. What we want to teach young people in our country is that your life does not depend on a third party. Your life does not depend on your parent. Your life does not depend on any government. If government refuses to do what they are supposed to do, then you will take the responsibility to collaborate amongst or with other young people who are also driving ideas, and then push your idea in the marketplace. One day, somebody's going to say it, and somebody's going. That's how a lot of businesses that are operating today all over the world, those big ideas that you see we are celebrating today all over the world, came out because somebody decided to be consistent with those ideas.
And some people will say, talk about conferences, we have more than enough. What is it that come out of these conferences? Now let's talk about this Emerging Leaders Conference. What can you point at and say, this, as a result of this conference we've had over the years, this is what we've achieved?
It will interest you to know that a lot of conferences go on, but the question every leader will ask is, what kind of conferences go on? What's the quality of the conference? A lot of the times, we don't experience, conferences that have great agenda and great content, and is leadership development, considered to be leadership development focus. Now, over the years, I've had over 100,000 young people go through our leadership. From Emerging Leaders Conference, just one of the things we do as an institution. It will be interesting to know that we have launched our first leadership school in Abuja, in the whole of Nigeria. And so we're talking from having experience, exposure over time globally in the subject of leadership development. And I can tell you that the Emerging Leaders Conference that we've organized, we've seen people who come to the Emerging Leaders Conference not believing even in Nigeria. They just come in and they don't like Nigeria, but at the end of the conference, they love Nigeria. I've seen a lot of people who come with ideas to the Emerging Leaders Conference, and they think that they have arrived. And then they meet among their peers. Somebody's coming from Sokoto and he owns, farmlands, doing great stuff. And this person is stimulated, is motivated. It's like, are you serious? I thought I've arrived. But, so there's peer review mechanism. Whenever you attend Emerging Leaders Conference, there's a learning system that is built. First of all, the quality of speakers that we normally bring from outside, the country, within the country, are mind-blowing people that have results. For instance, this year, it will interest you to know that we're bringing somebody like Dr. David Oyedepo to speak to the next generation of leaders for Nigeria. He has results to show for it. We're talking about individuals like, Professor Utomi. I mean, Nigerians have not appreciated, Professor Utomi the way they are supposed to in terms of the contribution he has made in this country. People like John Momo, I'm talking about, the owner of this institution we are in today. These are individuals that are trailblazers. You're talking about, people that have made a lot of impact. Muyiwa Folabi, young speakers, outstanding speakers, coming in to say, they're not coming in to say, they're coming in to model a new lifestyle for the next level of Nigeria. And I will also be speaking at the Emerging Leaders Conference. I'll be telling my story as well. Because, this is a young man, 19 years old, finished, from school and decided to create an institution. And today, I'm very excited to say, by the grace of God, I'm the pioneer leadership development person in Nigeria. Because right now, I'm influencing my generation. There are a lot of young people with ideas, entrepreneurs who are in different locations in this country, social change makers, young people under 45 who are working for government. All of these people scattered all over this country. Can our generation reframe the conversation of leadership development in this country? Why are we giving up? Can we change this country? Can we begin to build a new agenda on how Nigeria can have selfless leadership in the future?